Hey, it's Brian Mudd, and this is my cheat sheet for the last day of August. It is August 31st, it's Wednesday, and if you missed out on that $99 touchpad that people rush to go buy, HP is taking a bath. They're losing more than $200 on every one of those they sell. Well, you might remember last week I said you're going to have one more shot at it because HP had pre-ordered a bunch of parts that they hadn't assembled yet into touchpad. And I thought they would put them together and sell them to you, and they are. Here's the deal. HP is going to have one last round of $99 touchpads, and they're going to make them available in October. So if you want one, you got to be ready. You're going to have to order fast when the time comes. All right, so Facebook. Here's something you don't see every day. We have a lot of companies that are very concerned about being hacked. We have very few companies that are actually encouraging hackers to try to hack into their site. We have still fewer that are actually taking the people that hack into their site and paying them for it. That's exactly what Facebook is doing. It's an innovative new program. They are going to pay hackers. In fact, they already have. They paid out more than $40,000 so far to hackers that have shown them vulnerabilities in their website. Now, the key is, if you hack into Facebook's site or find any vulnerabilities, you can't go out there and exploit them for your own benefit. You actually need to take that information, give it to Facebook, and they, in turn, will decide how much to pay you. Apparently, the top reward so far for information to Facebook has netted someone $5,000. It's kind of a cool idea, right? Plus, you keep the hackers busy. All right, so remote work. This is one area of huge job growth. You know, we know that it's become more popular for employers to try to find ways to keep costs at bay, especially when it comes to healthcare-related costs and all that. So more contract workers, that's probably not a surprise, and fewer people in the office. A lot of companies that have outside sales in particular are letting people work out of their own home office and then, you know, just teleconferencing in maybe a couple times a week. In fact, this has grown so fast that we've, in the last 4 years, seen a 61% growth in remote work, where the average company has to pay 10 to 20% less overall for those employees. But the good news is, generally, this is agreeable by us because we, in turn, get to work out of home, which saves us time and money on having to travel into the office and even on wardrobe sometimes to have to wear around the office. So this is kind of interesting, and if you haven't considered remote work, that might be the next job opportunity if you're still sitting in that unemployment line looking for an opportunity. Speaking of which, you don't often get those when big companies merge together. In fact, what do we always hear after a big merger takes place? X number of people laid off, because that's the way it works. Big companies merge, they realize cost savings by eliminating redundant positions within the organization. Well, here's a different take on that. AT&T and T-Mobile. This acquisition was announced very early in the year, and it's dragging out right now, seeking regulatory approval. In fact, if everything continues to go as planned, it'll close sometime early next year. But there is an uphill battle here. A lot of consumers are worried about what this merger might mean. Certainly the government that is reviewing and has yet to approve this merger to go through has a lot of concerns about these two major providers of cellular service getting together. So what are they going to do? AT&T has said not only are they going to not reduce headcount upon merger with T-Mobile, they're going to hire 5,000 additional people in the U.S. That's right. They're actually talking about bringing back their call centers from overseas into the U.S. to sweeten the pot so the government and perhaps us look more favorably upon their deal getting done. So actually could end up working out. Kind of cool. We continue to hear about more companies bringing their call centers back to the United States. And here's another little nice thing. I have a couple of companies that don't often receive some nice press. The big banks, right? Always evil. Here's something that's cool that a few of them are doing. Chase, Wells Fargo, and MB&T, all that are banks along the affected Irene area, are actually cutting a break to people in those affected areas. They're waiving home payments, car payments. They're allowing people to pay late without having to enter into any additional fees. And they're going to continue this in place for the foreseeable future until this situation and this region gets back on its feet. So that's really cool that those folks that are trying to get themselves back together don't have to worry about footing the bill until they can get back to work and have the money to pay the bank. So way to go, guys. Volvo, they're the latest car that's going to test electricity They're going to move to electric plug-ins, but they're not going to be available in the States anytime soon. They're going to be testing all over Europe on new electric plug-in models next year. And if those are successful, then Volvo might unleash around here in the States. And speaking of which, you know how we had that much bigger than expected July spending number? It helped the stock market and made people feel a little bit better about the economy a couple days ago. Well, we now know the reason for it, why there was such an unexpected rise in that particular month, and in particular with cars. That was the big area of growth. Well, we found out that banks started lending to subprime folks again. You know, we're seeing the most subprime auto loans underwritten since before the financial crisis, and the reason is we are seeing the lowest amount of defaults on car loans right now since before then. Only around 2% of all car loans are delinquent, and the banks are saying that even folks with subprime credit have a good track record right now of paying their car bill, and if you had a mortgage situation that resulted in you having poor credit and you otherwise look good, you're likely to get an auto loan right now. So food for thought if you have impaired credit. It's a cheat sheet for today. We'll see you tomorrow.